Hey, what's up YouTube? Just making a quick video here today. This isn't going to necessarily be a how-to video per se. More or less just a video to give you some information regarding any type of vibration that you might be experiencing in your Nissan Altima. Now, my particular Altima is a 2011 Nissan Altima. I have 108, 229,000 miles on it. It's a 2011. And I was noticing more so pronounced vibration whenever it was cold out, and especially when the engine was still at a high idle until the engine had the opportunity to warm up in gear. So like if I were to go ahead and put it into reverse or drive, basically the steering wheel here would actually like physically vibrate. You could actually just watch it oscillating because of the engine vibration, and it would sort of go away once the vehicle warmed up to operating temperature, but it still was pretty pronounced just sitting at a red light, even warmed up. It had enough vibration through the whole body of the vehicle. You know, even like if I had a cup and a cup holder here, it would vibrate and make all kind of noise, and you know, it would do it in reverse and drive. It didn't really seem to matter as far as what gear it was in, just as long as it was in a drive gear. And I was told that more commonly what would be causing that would be the primary passenger side engine mount, which is also considered the insulator mount. And what it does is absorbs, you know, majority of the vibration from the engine, as well as actually the primary support of the engine. And when I had done the valve cover gasket on this vehicle not too long ago, I had the engine jacked up in order to release the weight of the engine from the mount so that I could take off the bracket that was over top of the actual valve cover, and this enabled me to change the valve cover. So I was basically supporting the right side of the engine from the oil pan with like a floor jack, and I inspected the mount then and it looked perfectly fine. So, but I went ahead and replaced it anyway. I actually made a how-to video for it. However, I noticed that I was still getting this really bad vibration, and I wish I had saved. I'll look and see if I still have the video saved somewhere in my phone. I'll upload it at the end of this YouTube video, just so you can see, like if I just touched my hand here, it would go away and then let go, and it would just, everything would just shake and vibrate. It sounded awful. And I was just basically thinking that maybe it was just normal wear and tear for the age of the vehicle, and just kind of dismissed it. I guess another reason why I was dismissing it was because I had also replaced that primary engine mount, in addition to replacing 2 years prior the transmission mount and the torque mount. And so I just assumed at that point, hey, you know what, maybe it's just the character of the vehicle, it's what it's supposed to do, and ignored it. But eventually I decided to do some further investigating here, and I'm going to stop for a minute and take you outside, pop the hood, and point out some things that might be something you could look for if you're experiencing this vibration that you can feel through the steering wheel and through the passenger compartment of the vehicle when it's running. So hold tight and we'll pick up outside. Okay, I got the hood popped. I went ahead and removed the air filter and the air filter box, and I set it aside just so you could see. So for reference, this is the driver's side, this is the passenger side. The video I had made on YouTube that shows you how to replace this primary engine mount slash insulator, I thought was supposed to fix the issue with the vibration I was getting in the passenger compartment. However, it did not. I also went ahead and replaced this torque mount as well recently. As you can see, it was new because inside here it was all cracked and dry rotted, and then if I were to flex this back and forth, all of this was cracking and dry rotted too. So I went ahead and replaced that as well the other day. But this is not what was causing the vibration. What was causing all my vibration in gear, and just for reference too, you're not going to be able to see it, but there's also way down there, there's also another engine mount down there as well. It's a little harder to get to. It's easier to tackle that by going through like the wheel well here to get to it, but that one's still fine. I already inspected it. But over here, right behind the battery here, is this guy. This is your transmission mount. This is the only thing that supports the whole left side, driver's side of the entire engine slash transmission assembly is that mount. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to take all this out just because I'm at a park right now. I've chose to film the video here because where I live, there's a lot of traffic and stuff, and you wouldn't even be able to hear me with all the cars going by. So what I did was I came to the local park. But there's a bolt, a fastener here, and then it goes in like a triangle. So there's one there, and then it goes out, and then there's two under here that hold it in. And then, of course, there's your nut right in the middle there of the, that's the part that actually comes up through the mount from the engine. So there's like a stud that's pre-fastened to the top of the transmission, and that stud pokes up through it, and then that nut right there is actually what holds the, supports it. Now, the old transmission mount, this here, this little rubber area here, was all sunken down and collapsed. And I believe, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident this is filled with like hydraulic fluid, and that's what helps to dampen the vibration. And the old mount was from like this section right in here straight down. It literally was, the whole thing was collapsed, and it was basically just this stud had pulled through the mount and was just basically sitting down here, practically metal on metal. So there was no support. And whenever that bushing blows out like that, and like I said, I'm pretty sure there's hydraulic fluid in there, I would assume there is. Whenever that bushing blows out, you basically have the vehicle just sitting on the actual metal and the rubber of the mount and not getting any type of cushion. And so that is the culprit. That's what was causing all that vibration, because as soon as I put this new mount in here and put everything back together, it literally was gone. The car has never, since I've owned it, has never idled so smooth from inside. No vibration practically at all. In fact, the first day I put it on, I couldn't even tell the engine was running. So something to look for if you're getting a lot of engine vibration. Not very hard to do either. I mean, you basically just unclip the mass airflow sensor wire here from these things here and unplug it. And then you take this hose clamp off right here. There's a fastener, probably not going to see it, but there's a fastener right there. I believe that's a 10 millimeter. And then there's just some rubber garments that hold, or grommets, I guess you would say, that hold this in. And once you have all this disconnected, you just boop, pop it out. And once you pop that out and you put it aside, and then you go underneath and get like a nice flat piece of wood and a floor jack and support the engine from the the transmission from the transmission pan. Just, you don't want to go crazy, you don't want to crush it, you just want to put a little bit of upward pressure so that when you disconnect this mount to slide the new one in, it will the engine won't fall, because when you unscrew that, the engine's just going to fall down, you're going to damage a whole bunch of stuff. So you definitely want to support it. And then, you know, once you screw that in, now it looks a little wet, that's just because I sprayed a little fluid film in and around it, just because there was a lot of corrosion on this stud that comes up through the from the transmission. There was a lot of corrosion, it was pretty jammed in there, so I just put a little fluid film in and around where the fasteners go just to keep it from corroding. But other than that, I hope this helps somebody out. Like I said, it was something I dismissed because I just put that mount on 2 years ago for more or less preventative maintenance, and only to discover that the one I put on only lasted 2 years, collapsed. So I just assumed, oh, it's just 2 years old, it can't be bad. Well, it was shot. So something to think about. Also, if your engine is clunking when putting in gear, or the engine seems to be moving a lot when you put it in gear, I mean, obviously it can be your primary engine mount, but this commonly is a huge fail point right here. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but this rubber in here basically tears right here. And this torque mount, they go bad all the time. So it's something else to look for. And there's videos on how to do all that out there on the YouTubes. Like I said, there's also a video on how to do this as well that I actually made. So yeah, something to look for. But other than that, I hope this video helps somebody out and, you know, gives you some information on you know, what to look for if you're getting that really bad vibration, especially at a cold idle in gear. So other than that, hope all is well. I hope you enjoy. I hope, even though this isn't a how-to video, gives you some information on what to look for. If you have any questions, comments, you know, throw it out there. I'm always liking a good conversation in the chat there. So once again, thanks for watching, and you guys all take care and be safe.